Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here, so please don't rely on tarot readings for factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. Okay, today is different. I know I keep saying that, but okay. This card came out a couple days ago. Be the bridge. Expand your consciousness to behold both worlds. Again and again, some people in the crowd wake up. They have no ground in the crowd, and they emerge according to broader laws. They carry strange customs with them and demand room for bold gestures. The future speaks ruthlessly through them. And then I received a message today. And this, how do I even explain it? There's something that was in your life. Is that? No, that's good. There's something that was in your life that you thought is over. You had fully said goodbye to it. It's not something recent. This has been years. I don't know how many years, but there's something that you released into the ether and said good riddance. If this comes back, it comes back. And if this goes elsewhere, at least it's gone. But there was something specifically, like the image of a boomerang is coming out, and I'm also seeing this lapis lazuli kind of shaped like a boomerang. If the non-sun out my window can show that. You didn't intentionally throw a boomerang, but the energy that it was that you released, its dynamic mimics or holds onto or embodies the shape and the action of boomerang. So maybe this is something that you said, that's done, clap my hands free of it, and I'm not dealing with that anymore. Maybe it's something that you said, I'm wondering if this will ever come back. I don't know if I want it to come back, but I know that there's a possibility that it could. And there's also potentially, as the smoke is getting a little too much in front of my face right now, you may have been in an obsessive state, kind of like demanding, begging for this to come back to you. Okay? And so perhaps it's taken longer than you expected or longer than you liked because you wanted it more immediately. And it and you both needed time. This is something that had it come back to you right away, yeah, you wouldn't have had any hindsight, right? You have needed the blessing of time time passing, for you to be prepared to answer the call. Open the door. Ignore the knock. But something is knocking. As it was 4:04 when I said that. Completion, west, number 4. It's actually funny, I've had the other directions. I don't think I've had west yet. I'm seeing yes, number 4, but I don't know if this is like specifically for the 444 collective. I'm getting for 4, I'm getting like the 1, 2, 3, 4, a completion, a full shape, a full cycle. It doesn't need to be spiraled to be cyclical, right? And so, I'll put this over here. Something has completed. And I suppose it doesn't necessarily need you to finish completion. Purity, ice, number 33. This card came out the other week, but that ice, I'm getting like, cool it for a sec. Hold on. This is not something for you to be responding in anger or spite or aggression or rage. I'm seeing here it's a brain. I hadn't really looked at it yet, but it's a brain with a puzzle piece going in, and it's surrounded by this golden, well, I don't know if it's surrounded. There's gold coming in. There is gold yellow presence. And you're going to need to think on this one. Yes, for sure, there will be you going with your intuition, but this is not something just for you to feel out. The message I'm getting from Source is explicitly, you are making a decision. You need to do your checks and balances on this one, whatever it may be. But the vigor or the energetic force that you originally released this with, that energy has run its course. So as this thing is coming back to you, you don't recognize it in the same way. What are some examples this could be? Like perhaps a few years ago, you were trying to make a change in your career. And you were like, oh, I'm thinking of going into, I don't know, what's a career? Transportation, right? Well, to use that example, somebody might have been thinking of going on a trip or a travel opportunity of some kind. But you were like, I'm thinking of going into transportation. I'm not really sure. And you applied in a bunch of places. You didn't get those, but you did get something in communications somewhere. And you said, great. And you've been working in comms ever since, and it's been fine. And you haven't really been thinking about when you wanted to work in transportation, because your needs have totally shifted since that was something that you aspired for. And now that it's coming back, you don't have that same desperation or pull of, but I need the change. I need something different. I need a better environment. Because whatever the needs were that drove you as urges and obsessive tendencies when this was happening, and also as this was leaving, as you were pushing it out, you're not in the same place. You don't have those same needs. You have a job that you like. You have a career that you've been developing. Just because something was all you wanted before doesn't mean you need to drop all you've built now to invite that in. It could be a relationship. It could be someone that you had been interested in dating years back. Could be someone from high school. Like, it's like, I don't know how much time it has been for everyone, but I know that it's like we're talking at least 3 years. Time has been moving in the way that time does. And what's a fake name? Daryl. And perhaps you had a crush on Daryl growing up and you wanted to be with them and blah, 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 blah. And then maybe like 5-6 years ago, you were looking them up on Facebook, or you passed them in the grocery store, or like you ran into them at their workplace, something. Your paths crossed and you were like, oh, I want that. I want to be with that person. And then you were kind of like obsessively putting that out into the universe, and then nothing ever happened with it, and you moved on with your life. And now years have gone by, and Daryl sends you a message on Facebook, runs into you at your work. Like, there's something of whatever it was that you put out and did not receive. It's like a delayed echo chamber. It's coming back to you now. I'm not getting this as a Ooh, exciting opportunity for everyone. I think for a lot of people, actually, this is something that's like, oh, that's something I never thought I would see back at my front door, you know? Let's see. High Priestess. You know. You know what you need. You know what you want. Ace of Cups. So I know I said it's not all about your intuition, but what I'm getting is your emotional capacity has matured. You've become more emotionally intelligent, at least about this specific thing. You might be saying, I don't really think that much has changed. And maybe it hasn't totally evolved and transformed in other areas of your life. That's fine. We're talking about this today, right? I'm also noticing how this is kind of coming up in patchwork. And so I'm getting that it's like you've been working at this in hyperdrive and you'll complete like a chunk of it. Whatever it is that you're processing, whatever you are evolving within, whatever you are releasing, it's kind of like it comes in obsessive waves. Why not the top one? Queen of Cups. You're trusting your emotions this time. You're trusting what's coming in, including this sense of completion. And with Be the Bridge here, I'm getting you are now in an emotional state. You are now in enough of a successful being embodiment that you are the bridge to you now and you then who wanted this so bad, there was nothing else you could want in the world. And I'm getting the sense that for some people, this has been like a very long magician. A very long shadow. As I'm placing it in the back of the other cards is kind of like a shadow effect on it. This has been the building blocks to who you feel you are as a person. And the question that I will give you is, are you still you if you turn this away? Are you still you if you throw this away? And I had to take a break for a second, so I'm not sure if that's the phrasing I just used, if I said throw away. Something in a sense of, so what? Boom. I don't need that. That is a sense for some. But I am getting with seeing the crow on the magician's shoulder here. I'm getting this has been something that has been riding your back for years. For some of you, this could go back to early life. And I am getting, this is earthly. This is, and like, take it how it resonates for you. Of course, I'm not here to tell you that you are wrong, but what I am saying is that this is like the message I'm getting is this is something that has happened to you as you are in the physical body form you are now. I'm getting its timeline is linear, which I never say. Empress. Do you want to receive this? You can see this as a gift from the universe, perhaps. As it was just, for me, it was 1555 when I said perhaps. And so there's something about, if you're not sure, Do you really want to start the process? 2. Wow, Ace of Wands and 5 of Wands. So that 5 immediately came back. Is that still in frame? Yeah. Here's what I'll say. With the ace coming out, I'm getting, but there is a little crossover. With the ace coming out, either way, this is something new. Your acceptance of it or your denial of it, and not like denying that it exists, but like refusing the call. Either selection you make, this is a new chapter on your path. Now, with the 5 of Wands coming in, I'm getting the sense that like this is intense. And this may be something that plays a larger role in your life than you expected. And do you want to take that on right now? Page of Pentacles. So it's going to be showing up in your life, in your world. The framing of consequences just came to mind. So I don't know if it's consequences for you, consequences for someone else, consequences for your life, your lifestyle, your daily routine, but it's not something, whether you accept or deny the knocking at the door, something in your worldly, earthly life is changing. Either decision that you make, you've now decided on something that's been cycling the universe, waiting for you to be in a place to receive this. Yeah. Ace of, do we have 3 ace? Yes. We have Cups, Wands, and Pentacles. My goodness. Duck, duck, crow. Strikes again. What I'm seeing is all of these aces are looking to the future. And the only other one looking right is the Page of Pentacles. So this taking shape in your life. And again, with the High Priestess, you may continue, like she's looking straight ahead, right? So you may continue going forward on your path. It might take, we can use the framing of timelines, right? Which, you know, but if you picture it like whatever decision that you make throughout the day, that falls away other potential realities that could have been. Okay? It's like in the morning, if you drink chocolate milk, you're going to spill it on your shirt and you're going to be late catching the bus, and then you're going to meet so-and-so, or the bus will be in an accident and you weren't on it because you had milk. Like, it's something like that, where you making the decision to drink or not drink chocolate milk will catapult the varied options in opposition to you, depending on what it is. And here's the thing that's like, I don't know how to express it, but your life may be the same either way. Like, either way, change is happening. But it might be a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. It might be something of even this being brought back to your attention is enough to rein in the page, ring in. With page, I'm also like just now getting the word of like page in a book, in a chapter. Either way, this is being written on a page in your book of life. The Hermit. So this is not a decision to be making lightly. And depending on what it is, I don't necessarily get that there's a rushed feeling, a sense of being rushed, but that doesn't mean that the turnaround isn't fast. It might be something like you get news of something and like an opportunity and they're like, we need your answer by tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like but you don't really need that much time to think about it because you spent so much time pining for a response to this back in the day. And I'm getting the sense here with having the Queen and Ace of Cups come out together, it's like this doesn't throw you off your game. You don't leave your window of tolerance. You don't feel triggered. You don't feel overwhelmed. You just feel like, do I want that? Or do I not want that? And it's totally your choice to make. We'll do 2. Wow. The Six of Swords and Justice, which is funny because the Six of Swords has been coming out for me the past few weeks. And like, these are all in videos on my channel in a transitory state. And with Justice coming out in divine timing, I'm getting, you know me, and that Seven of Swords been showing up like, oh my goodness. What I am getting here is that it's the Six of Swords plus 1 sword from Justice. And so it's now time for you to discover the balance in your newly awoken Seven of Swords. Wow. That's really beautiful, actually. It's not a Seven of Swords being handed to you. You are deciding what is something you want in your world and what can continue on, what does not concern you. You have found that balance. Seven of Pentacles and Strength. Okay. So for me, whenever I get the Seven of Pentacles in this deck, this is the Murder of Crows deck, by the way, I'm always seeing all of this little white design stuff here, right? You can see it in front of his cloak, see it in front of the ground, but as soon as it hits water, the pond, it's gone. You can't see it anymore. And I am getting like, if you get so inside your emotions of it, dinging that candle there, if this gets you bent out of shape, take that into consideration. Do you want to invite something into your life where you're not going to actually be able to see how it's showing up and how it's manipulating the energy around you? So use your strength to really decide if this is something you want to invite in. Okay, actually these. Wow. We have the Four of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the King of Swords. With these two, what I'm getting is like the foundation is there if you want it, but you need to be the one to make the decision. But now you are able to show up in this more dominant form. You have more than a grasp, more than a handle on your own mental, what word would I use? Not bandwidth. Mental abilities, your cognition, potentially for some of you precognition. But there's, as I just covered the Two of Wands head for a second there. And I'm getting whatever choice you as a human makes. I'm seeing this crow with the sphere. You are headed in the right direction, even if you don't see where you're going. And with this crow faced this way, I'm being reminded of all of these crows. But the only ace we don't have is swords, because this isn't the end. This is not the beginning of a new cycle. This is the end. This is the end to something. Whether it's to not allow it to return, therefore it ends, or if it's for you to go through the process, create a container where you can actually freaking grieve, is what I'm getting. What's this here? Can I show this? Yeah, the maiden. So you may know this as maiden mother crone. You may know this as Artemis, Selene, Hecate. I've seen forms of. Something about this illusion of there being simpler times. There is a you before any of this came into your life. And so what you're being asked now is, to the you who existed before any of this, as I've never noticed that on this card. Wait a minute. There's like sacred geometry on this. It says equator. And something else. I don't know if you can see, but like to the left of her here, there's these axes. Don't even know if you can see it because like it's in white. Wow. But what I'm getting is that there is more than meets the eye to you from before in transition to you to now. So it's something like something in this could potentially unlock you back to a previous state. Not in a way of like regressing or returning to old habits, but if there's something that you feel you lost and you've been living your life in that loss, there's something that has come back now that's presenting you with an opportunity to get your groove back, is the simplest way that I'll phrase it here. But the choice is yours to make. And either way, you are coming out the other side of it. Moving on. Better days ahead, regardless of what you choose. Okay. If this reading resonated with you, I'd be curious to hear from you down in the comments. This is a really interesting reading. You can also like and subscribe to hear from me more often. And in the description, you'll find a link to my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective. And I'm treating as a virtual ecosystem to kind of have a closed group where we can talk a bit more in detail about, you know, all this kind of stuff. Not necessarily on the wide open web. Stay tuned.